Just give me the list.
Have you checked it?
Come on, it's fine.
Why are you being like this?
Because I failed.
Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin. I'm a film critic and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and film culture and like to see people pick it apart, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be reviewing a movie called Fatman, which stars Mel Gibson as Santa Claus. Now, before I get into the plot, Fatman is an unconventional Christmas movie, to be sure, and I have said I'm going to be trying to review as many Christmas movies as I can before the year is out because there's not a lot of other new release movies being made because of, you know, everything. And before I get any further, I am well aware that Mel Gibson is a terrible person, okay? Mel Gibson is like a gigantic piece of shit. I know this. But the main reason I'm reviewing this movie anyway is a couple of reasons. One, I didn't pay to see it, so I don't feel like I'm sort of betraying my values in some way. Number two, Walton Goggins is in it, and Walton Goggins is perfect, and I'll watch Walton Goggins in pretty much anything. And the third reason is because I thought it looked like a really weird, fun, kind of like ridiculous, sort of trashy movie that would be fun to pick apart and talk about. It's not, but that's what I thought. But it did sort of make me have to reckon with the fact that even though I detest Mel Gibson in real life, that he is sort of in this weird category of actors like someone like James Woods, who is someone I hate in real life, but happens to be very good at delivering a certain kind of performance, and in movies tends to do exactly what is expected of him in a meaningful way. So like, I gotta wrestle with that, I suppose. The thing about Fatman is I did go in expecting it to be ridiculous and weird and fun and all that type of stuff, and it's not exactly what I expected. It's not quite good, necessarily, but it did surprise me. In Fatman, Mel Gibson plays the titular Fatman, Chris, a real-world style analog of Santa Claus who is gritty, tough, and portrayed as sort of like a contractor with a heart of gold. In this world, Santa is real, and his army of elves make toys for kids every year and are paid as subsidy by the US government. Basically, in keeping the Christmas spirit alive, Chris and his crew enable the global marketplace to profit off of Christmas, so even though his enterprise is pure, it is funded by capitalist greed. The government cuts Chris's funding in half because he's making fewer toys every year because there's less and less good children in the world, but because his operation cannot run on less money, he has to accept a contract to make his elves manufacture weapons and technology for the military. I say elves because, well, even though this movie does have a gritty, realistic bent, it doesn't hide the magic at the core of the Klaus myth. He really does employ an army of elves.
Captain, we've discovered the most efficient and productive way to eat is simple carbs and sugars. 6 times a day. Every elf takes a 20-minute nap every 8 hours. That keeps our bodies fresh and allows us to work on a 24-hour rotation.
How long can you keep that up?
Indefinitely.
He really is super strong and near immortal. They don't show it, but he does even ride a sleigh. But this stuff is essentially a B-plot in the movie because it's actually about this piece of shit kid who reminds me of like Ben Shapiro. He's a spoiled little rich brat who hires a hitman to intimidate a girl who beat him at the science fair into claiming she cheated so he can get another blue ribbon to fill the void in his heart the love of a father might usually occupy. But doing so causes Chris to hit him with the lump of coal special, so he rehires that same hitman to kill the Fatman. Now, the only reason that this ridiculous premise even sort of works is because that hitman in question is played by Walton Goggins. Goggins' character is independently obsessed with the Fatman because, as an abandoned and abused young orphan, he only got what he wanted for Christmas 1 year in his entire life. Now he uses his hitman money to collect other people's prized possessions.
I'll give you $900 for it.
Not even gonna get me halfway there.
I will give you $900 for it, or you can fuck off.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. But the unfortunate thing about Fatman is that the movie builds to a big dramatic climax where Goggins finally finds the Fatman and tries to kill him, and in that closing 20 minutes, the movie completely falls apart. The action is bland, the standoff is too visceral and real given the interesting line between absurdity and verite the film has, up to this point anyway, straddled so well. We don't really want to see this tragic and emotionally wounded hitman kill a tragic and emotionally wounded Santa Claus. The movie has an underlying sweetness that works at odds with the film's seeming goal of being a badass action flick, so the big fight feels like it comes from an alternative version of the story that honestly wouldn't even be worth watching. Fatman reminds me a little bit of The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then Bigfoot, in that it's marketed like a badass exploitation film, but in execution, it's actually a weirdly ruminative drama trying to wrestle with more complex themes than its filmmakers are fully capable of expressing. To be honest, the movie is at its best when it focuses on Chris and his wife Ruth, played by Marianne Jean-Baptiste, who makes a real meal out of the underwritten Miss Klaus role. Mel, against all odds, delivers a strangely moving portrait of a man who just wants to fulfill the dreams of the youth so that they may grow up to be the kind of people who make the world a better place. For a man whose image has been so tarnished over the years by his real-life antics and shitty beliefs, it's astonishing he's still capable of creating this kind of cinematic empathy, even in a movie this odd and, incomplete. So, should you actually watch Fatman? I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I think it's a fun movie at times, and I think it's interesting that they're able to take a story that's this absurd, this ridiculous, and still ground it in something that's kind of emotionally resonant. Like, watching Santa Claus have to struggle with the fact that the world isn't the kind of world he thought his gift-giving operation would create is a little bit depressing, yeah, but it's also kind of touching. But it's so muddied and undone by all the other dumb stuff they do and trying to make like a cool, edgy, gritty movie. Maybe if they stuck strictly to Chris and the operation and stuff with the elves and his relationship to the outside world, it would be like, meaningful. But I think if they did that, it would essentially just be Netflix's The Christmas Chronicles, which stars Kurt Russell as Santa Claus dealing with the modern world, and honestly is like 10 times the movie Fatman is. It's so much better. You should watch it. They have a sequel coming out next week that I'm definitely going to review the second it drops, and Kurt Russell's in it, and Kurt Russell is just way cooler than Mel Gibson. That's like fucking hands down. But yeah, I don't know, if you have an hour and a half to kill and you're interested in watching something that's odd and strange, maybe do it. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to look at Mel Gibson in the eyes at any given time, then yeah, I'd skip it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Please hit the little bell icon so you get notifications when I put out new videos. Next week we'll be having several new videos like for the rest of the month and stuff, so keep your eyes peeled for when those come out. And yeah, if you have any thoughts about Mel Gibson or Christmas, you can put them in the comments below, or like both those things combined. I don't know. I hope you guys are staying safe, being good to each other, not traveling for Thanksgiving because that's dumb. Just eat turkey at home and wear your mask. Be good to each other. Thanks. Bye.